In our last episode, our boy went on an absolute rampage, tearing through demon cities like it was his favorite pastime. Word spread fast, and soon enough, the demon lord took notice. Even knowing the demons were likely setting up a deadly trap, Lin decided to check it out anyway. Because why not? Picking up where we left off, Lin activated Mighty Soldier, and the demon lord's clone was fuming. The smug look on Lin's face, like he didn't even take him seriously, only fueled his rage. With a furious roar, the castle's tallest tower lit up with an eerie purple glow as a massive magic array spread outward. It was a summoning seal. The demon lord was convinced this would finally counter Lin. But as for Lin, he merely chuckled. Then, with a flicker of white light, he activated his newly acquired Blessing of Light, making his entire body glow. For the next 30 minutes, he'd be completely immune to all negative effects. As the summoning seal activated, hordes of demons charged at him, but his skeletal armor easily shrugged off their attacks. Wasting no time, Lin detonated a few nearby demon corpses, setting off a chain of explosions. With a deafening blast, another wave of high-level demons was blown to pieces. The demon lord's eyes widened in disbelief, veins bulging in fury. He demanded to know, how was Lin ignoring the summoning seal? And more importantly, what level was he? Because there was no way he was only level 39. But before waiting for an answer, the demon lord dived from the sky, aiming to crush him in a single devastating blow. Meanwhile, our boy just smirked because this was exactly what he wanted. Without missing a beat, he ordered his skellies to gather all the fallen demon corpses. The trusty skeletons scrambled around, scooping up bodies and hurling them straight at the demon lord. But the demon lord didn't even flinch. Instead, he retaliated with a flurry of punches, landing dozens of devastating blows every second. Lin's skeletal armor shattered instantly. Even though he kept recasting it, the relentless attacks were piling up. Luckily, all the damage was transferred to his skeletons instead. The battlefield echoed with the sound of cracking bones, but Lin's undead general wasn't slacking either. He kept spamming Legion healing, desperately keeping everyone in the fight. While tanking the demon lord's attacks, Lin casually activated Corpse Explosion. Massive blasts shook the battlefield wave after wave, even making the demon lord's clone feel the pain. Still, the demon lord landed a series of brutal punches on Lin. But instead of groaning in pain, Lin just smirked. He even had the audacity to throw out a sarcastic remark, mocking whether the demon lord had skipped breakfast because those punches felt weak. That, of course, made the cow absolutely livid. With a furious roar, he launched a devastating punch, sending Lin crashing into the ground. Dust and debris flew everywhere. But just as the demon lord thought he had the upper hand, a few skeletons suddenly appeared behind him, flinging even more demon corpses at him. Lin seized the moment, casting another corpse explosion, immediately followed by bone spikes. The demon lord was now covered in wounds, blood dripping from his nose and mouth, but he refused to accept that he couldn't kill this human. At this point, it was just a contest of who would drop first. Lin continued mowing down demons, using their corpses as weapons against the demon lord. Honestly, he felt kind of grateful. The cow had unknowingly provided him with an endless supply of high-level corpses to detonate. With a grin, he mockingly asked the demon lord how it felt to be attacked by his own people's bodies. But he didn't stop there. He unleashed every skill he had. And with one final earth-shattering explosion, the demon lord's clone finally fell. Before going down, his bloodshot eyes locked onto Lin, and with his last breath, he swore that Lin would certainly die by his hands. Of course, our boy wasn't about to get ahead of himself. He knew this was just a clone, not the real deal. Letting out a long sigh of relief, he slowly sat up, thinking, finally blew that thing to pieces. Though to be fair, he wasn't in great shape either. But just as he was about to catch his breath, a terrifying aura erupted from the distance. Lin turned his head and immediately knew the demon lord is quickly heading his way. And this time, it's the real deal. Now a normal person would take the hint and get the hell out of there. But for Lin? Oh no, he wasn't done yet. He figured he still had time to squeeze in a little more chaos before making his escape. Without hesitation, he activated Venomous Ring. With his Mighty Soldier buff still active for a little longer, he expected the skill's effect to be even stronger. Within seconds, a thick, deadly, toxic fog began to spread, creeping into the city like a silent killer. Weaker demons dropped dead instantly, In the blink of an eye, the entire city was swallowed in poison, and right at that moment, the real demon lord arrived. His eyes swept over the ruined city, now filled with nothing but corpses and destruction. Then came the roar. A furious, gut-wrenching roar. He screamed at the top of his lungs, vowing to kill Lin. The sheer fury in his voice said it all. The dude was beyond pissed. Above, the sky darkened. A massive, 1,000 times bigger version of his previous clone loomed overhead. The sheer pressure was suffocating. But our boy? Yeah, he wasn't about to stick around for that. Seconds before the demon lord arrived, Lin had already pulled out his abyssal teleportation stone. He wasn't dumb enough to push his luck that far. With a smirk, he activated the stone. And in an instant, he was gone. The demon lord, still blinded by rage, slammed into the ground where Lin had just been, shattering the earth beneath him. What happened after that, you ask? Well, nobody knows. As the scene shifts to a small courtyard, two old pals stood by a stone table, their eyes fixed on a bright flash in the distance. They figured it's probably Lin, but the moment they saw him, their eyes widened in shock. Lin stumbled forward, his entire body covered in bloodstains. Not to mention the same shirt he'd been wearing for the last 100+ chapters were also gone. His glowing red eyes burned with a terrifying killing intent that radiated outward like a storm. Meng Anwen and White Divine exchanged glances, both wondering just what on earth did this kid do to come back looking like that.